Meeting at 280 West, 940 North in Provo, Utah, and we're going to begin with the roll call, and we're going to start with Melanie.
Melanie Hall, board member.
Emily Harrison, board member.
Meg Van Wagenen, board member.
Wendy Dow, superintendent.
Jennifer Partridge, board president.
Terry McCabe, board member.
Lisa Boyce, board member.
Okay.
Bailey Lyncham, student board member.
Rachel Rose, student board member.
Thank you. We want to excuse Vice President Hales and Business Administrator Devin Daly tonight. Okay, do we have a motion to convene our business meeting?
I move that we convene our business meeting.
Okay, motion made by board member Boyce. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by board member Hall. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we are now in our business meeting, and we're going to begin with our opening remarks, and we're going to turn that over to board member Lisa Boyce.
Thank you. Well, tonight I just wanted to start by addressing all of the veterans that are our employees here at Provo City School District, and not just our veterans, but also their family members. Anyone who is the spouse of a veteran, the child of a veteran, any family member. We're so grateful today to have a day to really think about and remember and be grateful for this work that happens, that helps us to feel the peace we do feel and to have so many of the freedoms and the safety that we have. My father was a veteran. My grandfather was on the USS West Virginia at Pearl Harbor. And I can remember he didn't tell us that story till almost before he passed. He also, it turns out, had only been allowed to attend a reservation school in Oklahoma. So he dropped out when he was about 14 years old. But he was so patriotic and he loved the Navy, and he had such colorful stories. I could see why he'd waited maybe to share some of those with us. But it became a really important part of our family's story, that it's worth it always to stand up and look for ways to build bridges and create peaceful, ethical societies. And just today, as just a preschool teacher, my children were thanking veterans, and we had a couple little parades, and just seeing their face light up as they got to meet a veteran and hear the stories. And one of our veterans, Major Wall, was talking about his work in the Air Force as an intelligence officer, and he told stories that just these kids were so thrilled to know a hero and to recognize that heroes are all around us, and we know they're here in Provo City School District. And so I just wanted to thank, personally as a board member here, all of your efforts and your sacrifices as family members and as veterans.
Thank you, Lisa. And speaking of our heroes here in our school district, tonight leading our Pledge of Allegiance, we'd like to invite up Colonel Jeremy Stevenson. He's of the Utah Army National Guard Military Intelligence Officer, and he's also a social studies teacher at Timpview High School. So he's going to lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And I asked Colonel Stevenson to just take a moment to tell us a little bit about his experience and his service.
Just stand over here. My voice, Karen, I do teach.
Sorry, I'm going to make you use the microphone because we have a YouTube. Yes, thank you.
It's awkward, but okay. Apologize to those of you that stand behind me. But I went to Orem High School and then went to the dark side and started teaching at Timpview. But I dated a girl in high school, and her father was a math teacher at Pleasant Grove High School, a track coach, and he was in the National Guard. So I met him when I was 17. My father had also served active duty for 5 years during Vietnam, did not ever deploy to Vietnam, and then joined the Utah National Guard for a short period of time. And so I grew up hearing stories about the military, and then as I met this particular gentleman, I went and served an LDS mission in Korea, fell in love with Korean country and the language and the culture, and also with teaching. So I came home and decided I wanted to be a teacher, but did not want to live on the salary of a teacher. So I thought that the military, particularly the National Guard, might be a good option. So I went and talked with him, and he talked about how great the National Guard could be, and particularly being a member of the Military Intelligence Unit. So I ran into a recruiter that was looking for Korean, Japanese, and Chinese linguist, and told me that if I joined, that instead of doing drills at Dugway Proving Ground, I'd get to go to Korea every summer. So I signed up, and that is one of the promises the military has kept. I've been to Korea about 22 times with the military. I did get 2 bonus trips to Iraq in 2005, and then I was there for half of 2010, half of 2011, and then a 3rd deployment to Bahrain in 2015 for 6 months, which was more, I used to teach world geography, and while I was in Bahrain, it was more of a, I would say, a payback for those 2 deployments, but I got to travel all over the Gulf region and visit all the countries there with the exception of Yemen and Saudi Arabia. So most of my career has been teaching world geography and psychology, which just accidentally worked out perfect with being in military intelligence. After 6 years of being enlisted, I decided to go to officer candidate school and then commissioned as an officer in the Utah Army National Guard. And I've continued since and still serve here in the state. And I did take a 5-year leave of absence to work full-time for the military and came back last year and was reassigned U.S. history, which has been, my students don't love it as much as they love geography, but I think it's a very timely subject to be studying right now. And it's really fun to teach the students about it and to be able to reference all the things that are happening in our government right now and how the similarities that exist there. So that's my story. I'm still in, and I'll probably be in for probably another 5 years with the Army National Guard. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for being here tonight. All right, next is our Provo Way Awards, and we'll turn it over to Deputy Superintendent Jason Cox.
Good evening, school board. Again, it's just such a wonderful opportunity to recognize so many amazing people that work in our school district and students in our school district. So tonight, we have a group of teachers that we're recognizing and also a student from Provo High. When I read your name, please stand up and we'll give everybody an applause. Actually, we can applaud for each person as we go. We don't need to wait until the end. But we have Jordan Skaminski tonight from Shoreline Middle School. Jessica Heaton from Edgemont Elementary. Holland Mon from Sunrise Elementary. Hannah Medina from Westridge Elementary. Gail Painter from Adult Ed. Our student of the month is Kathleen Odell from Provo High School. We've prepared a video that we'll go ahead and watch, and then afterwards we'd love to give the board members an opportunity to thank each of you personally. So after the video, we'll have you come up and start over here and just let each of them thank you for the work that you do and for who you are. So thank you.
Always likes to give prizes that encourage them to learn. She does mental check-ins each week. You can tell her if you have any questions about life or anything, and she can help you.
In Miss Szymanski's, we get to do a lot of fun and intriguing assignments.
I like how she makes them like out of the ordinary. They're all different in a good way.
Jessica is passionate about her craft and shares her passion with our students. She's a master at taking our grade level standards and incorporating them into a fun musical activity. She makes music engaging for all students. At the end of each class, she spotlights students' talents, sometimes allowing a student to play a piece they practiced on the piano or one of the available instruments. She's always a positive light among her faculty. And on top of all of this, she lives in her music by being in training for the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. She's a great example of a warm demander, holding students to high expectations while providing support to help them meet those expectations. Jessica is amazing.
Holland goes above and beyond with her students by spending extra time lesson planning to make sure her lessons are exactly what her students need. She has personal relationships with each of her students. She is always playing with them on the playground. Holland knows what her students need, and she makes sure those needs are met, and that's why she deserves the Provo Way Award. In her class, I would get up early to go to school and was excited to learn. She created a flexible and safe environment to learn that helped me stay focused and connect with my classmates. She was also really open to suggestions. When we did our historical figures in Utah project, I asked if I could do my report on a different person from the list since I wanted to do my project on a figure from one of my cultures, and she was very understanding and let me choose someone that wasn't from our list. She made learning interesting and fun. I especially love STEM and science and still do STEM classes in Provo's like UU Prep, which I don't think I would have even thought to participate in if it weren't for her class. I cannot list all the ways she has helped me and countless other students, and I really believe she deserves this award.
Gail is one of the best teachers in our program. She's a student favorite, always the first one in her classroom and the last one to leave. Her lessons are not only well prepared, but also engaging and fun. You can truly see how much she loves teaching through the energy she brings and the way she connects with her students. She's always there for me professionally and personally, and I'm so grateful to have her as a colleague. Her dedication, passion, and support make her an invaluable part of our team.
Kathleen Odell has distinguished herself as an outstanding student leader at Provo High. As a member of our first ever communications team, she has shown remarkable initiative and dedication. She is hardworking, consistently takes ownership of her responsibilities, and is quickly developing valuable communication and collaboration skills. In addition to her work with the communications team, Kathleen is also part of our CAPS program, where she contributes to the success of our school food truck. She's played a key role in moving projects forward, demonstrating both problem-solving skills and the ability to get things accomplished. Kat stands out not only for her initiative, but also for her leadership. She inspires others through her commitment, energy, and determination. Her contributions have already made a lasting impact, and she exemplifies the qualities we seek to recognize in our students.
Yeah, let's give them an... Okay, please come on up and let the board thank you for the work that you do.
So good, so good. Thank you. So much, I love it. Congratulations, Jordan. You've taught my voice. Oh my gosh, your kids did so great today, right? You should be. That was amazing. Yes, I was. Yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, sorry.
What'd you say? I said it's so good to have a student here, like with all the teachers and stuff. I just love it. It's so great. Yeah. And your mom retired. It's so exciting. Yeah, you want the whole thing. So congratulations. Oh, that's so great. I see your parents at the rec sometimes. And I'm like, congratulations. Awesome. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Preschool. Way to go. That's so awesome. Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I didn't know Pro had a food truck, so this is exciting. Okay. Awesome.
All right, let's give our Provo Way Award winners one more round. I just want to, on behalf of the whole board, thank you, each of you, for what you do to make Provo City School District a wonderful place to be. I love this part of our meeting every time. It's just so inspiring. We have such wonderful people, and it's an honor for us to be able to shake your hand and recognize you. So thank you. All right. Yes. Next, we have our school report from Sunset View, and so we're going to invite Principal Seth Hansen. Sorry, I almost said your name wrong, Seth. Seth, to come up and to tell us all about your school.
Well, I can't tell you all about the school, but I'll do my best with a few snapshots.
Summary.
It's good to be with you all this evening. Grateful to be able to represent the wonderful people at Sunset View in this presentation. We have amazing student body, wonderful teachers and staff, and I just love working with each of them. One of the fun things that my assistant principal and I, Mr. Dorothy and I, got to do at the beginning of the year is our first Dragon News Network that we do every week. It's usually students who present, but we got one chance to be in the limelight and tried not to embarrass ourselves there. Just introducing quickly our faculty. We do have a preschool at Sunset View, and most of our grade levels have four teachers. A few have 3 in the lower grades. A number of the upper grades, we have 4 because of the CAST program that we have 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. 28 full-time teachers, 2 of our interns. 10 of our grade level teachers are provisional. Our preschool teachers are both part-time. 2 full-time special ed teachers and our speech language pathologist. Wonderful support staff as well, the assistant principal, our Title I coordinator, instructional coach, etc., that you can see there. SOAR Academy is where we have our Tier 2 interventions, and they're just amazing women who work with our students as well. Snapshot of our student demographics in each of the grades. You can see kind of where they're at on the left. A little over half of our students are Caucasian, about a third are Hispanic, and then a small representation of some of our other demographics there. Points of pride. This was really tricky. I just thought of a few highlights. There are a lot of things that I think we could really highlight. One of the things that I've worked in 6 different schools in the district. As a special ed teacher, sometimes we move to different places, and it's been amazing to see how strong the culture of Sunset View is. Students love being dragons. They love being part of the school. There's a lot of camaraderie between groups that sometimes you wouldn't normally see. Students getting along with each other, playing with each other, and there's just a really strong culture there, and I love that. Very involved parent community through community council, parent PTA. Students love bringing their parents in to help in the classrooms and just being involved in all the parent community activities that we do. Another point of pride, we love focusing and making sure our teachers are in the driver's seat as far as their students' performance goes. And so aligning our tiered instruction, we try and make sure that our teachers are forefront in that, making sure they're sharing the resources, that we're sharing resources across the school in a way that aligns with what teachers see as the greatest need. We have our high-performing CAST classes, incredible BTS art program. You can see our specialty teachers in that picture there. Mrs. Johnson has her palette of paints there, but they all do an amazing job. Some challenges that we have as a Title I school, we have students who are coming from some difficult backgrounds. Multilingual student needs and connecting with their families is something we put a lot of effort in. I feel like we are making a lot of gains, but that's always something that is still a challenge, making sure that we're having really good ways to connect with our students and help them to quickly connect with the school and to feel like they're able to access everything, and making sure their parents are aware of all of the things that we can help provide for them as well. Students with difficult backgrounds, we have a lot of amazing resources in the community, so we're making sure that as things come up, teachers are aware of what resources there are in the school. Our social worker and other support people are aware of things, and we quickly connect those and support our students and their families as well. Student attendance, most of it's really good. I've been very impressed how dedicated parents are to bringing their students to school. But those who don't attend, often they're missing a lot. And I'm sure this is very similar from what you hear from other schools. I think the emphasis that the district has right now on attendance and making it a positive thing, we're really focusing on is wonderful. But I think those who need it the most are not necessarily even hearing the message or getting the message. And so that's something that we continue to work with families on as well. Current achievement data from the beginning of the year. For reading, Acadience reading, we have just shy of 70% of our students who are at or above grade level for beginning of the year. Math is an area that we're focusing on a lot more. NWA data, 49% of students at grade level for beginning of the year. Strangely enough, even though 46 are at grade level nationwide, that's considered about the 60th percentile. So we know that math is something that nationwide there are some struggles in, but that's an area that we really want to focus on. And our Acadience data is a little bit higher, but similar. We're wanting to make sure our students are getting what they need. Our main focus in PLCs this year and a lot of our data diving has been on math and looking for strategies. Today we had a number of our teachers doing learning walks where they would go as a group to different areas. Our 6th grade teachers went to Shoreline and watched some math instruction there so that they can see how can our instruction in 6th grade align with what kids are going to after this year. School improvement plan, here are the basic goals that we have, kind of summarized goals. We're focusing a lot on progress in reading, continuing with that, as well as in math. And one of our main goals is also our ML students. Historically, our ML students have not performed well on the WIDA. They've been below 50%. There are a few things that we feel like can quickly get the students used to the test, but also speaking a lot more. And so a lot of the engagement, a lot of the strategies that we have daily happening in the classrooms and a lot of our professional development is focusing on our ML students and getting them speaking and communicating quickly and feeling comfortable knowing that if they make mistakes, it's okay and they can keep on practicing learning. For social emotional, we are focusing on reducing major behavioral incidents, specifically with student physical aggression or defiance. And a little bit later, I'll show you some of the success we've had so far there, and then making sure we're including our parents with different parent engagement activities. Some of the strategies that we're using, making sure we have effective Tier 1 reading instruction. There are a variety of strategies, but specifically focusing on common formative assessments and feedback to students. We're doing data dives this week in math with all of our grade levels. And then including students in creating goals so that students are owning those for both reading and math. Sharing those, and every week or few weeks as we progress monitor, the students are aware of where they're doing and what they can do to continue improving. Our PBIS system, including a lot of the SOAR cards that students earn, and then tracking the progress with that, and morning circles. And this is something that we're doing school-wide as well, where every morning we don't have any specialties or other instruction set for the first 15 minutes. Classrooms, students are able to share things that are going on, or there's a specific question the teacher might have, and the students are communicating with each other and building their class-wide culture. Some examples that we have so far this year. This first slide really wanted to focus on a lot of that alignment with all of our educators for individual students, where teachers, parents, intervention specialists, everybody is on the same page helping each other. One of our 2nd grade boys, new to country this year, he began knowing no letters, just working through that. A lot of intensive supports. He's working on diagraphs now with his phonics. We have a 3rd grade boy who he had an IEP. We had our Tier 2 and IEP, and it was kind of an either or. We changed our schedule so that there could be a lot more alignment and he could access all of those resources. And his fluency in reading has increased from the beginning of the year, 35 words a minute, to the most recent progress monitoring, 68 words a minute. Another 3rd grade girl, her accuracy increasing, 10 words a minute, 53% accuracy, to up to 24 words a minute now, and 83% accuracy. And we have a 6th grade boy and girl. They were new to country last year. Excuse me. very little communication, no letter names and sounds for both of them, and now they're starting to approach grade level in their reading and in their fluency. As far as our behavioral successes with our PBIS, this is just a snapshot from Educator's Handbook. I went through and counted. It was on last Friday I did the count. Last year, at that time, 76 office referrals, 46 this year by that time, so it's decreased significantly. 162 minor incidents and up to 134. I had to take out 2 outliers from both years because there are a couple of students who seem to get the majority. So from both years, I took out 1 outlier each so that we could get a better snapshot of what it looks like. We've seen a lot of successes, as well as we're providing opportunities for students to do organized games outside. We're not directing them in things, but we're providing a lot more opportunities. We have our soccer field, and we went out and painted lines, and kids have their pennies and everything in their teams, and we're seeing a lot of kids who didn't used to play together, collaborating and playing on the playground. So it's been really fun to see that. And that is my last slide. I'd love to answer any questions that you have for me.
Thank you. Anybody have a question?
I guess I'm curious. I would love you to give us your thoughts on our CAST discussion that we had earlier, but this might not be the moment for it. But I think
I wasn't able to watch. I wasn't able to watch earlier.
For your feedback
so,
as
yeah.
a principal at a site that has this program, but also I really appreciate your emphasis on that Tier 1 instruction and your teachers kind of having the tools that they need. I think it's just really great work.
Yeah.
And that's like a 50% reduction there on your PBIS data. That was amazing.
I probably should not have presented that because I might have jinxed us. But
No. Well, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's
we'll
so
be
good.
good.
Thank you.
I have a lot of feelings about CAS. At Rock Canyon, where we had a lot of students who would go to CAS. Now at Sense of View, where we have a lot of students who come in. It's very, there's a lot of benefits and a lot of drawbacks on both sides of it, for sure. I don't know that I'm going to add anything to the conversation that you have not already discussed as a team.
I think it'd be great to look over the documents, and
I think we'll involve our principals as we move forward, for sure. So I appreciate you sharing the examples of specific students and the progress that you've made, and that's fantastic. That definitely shows everybody involved in working to help support these students, and wonderful to see that growth for them.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other comments or questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Hanson. Appreciate you being here tonight. All right, next item on our agenda, this is the opportunity for public input. And do we have anyone here tonight to give input? All right, seeing none, we will close that portion of our meeting and move on to our business items. We're going to start with policies, and our first one is policy 1550. We'll let Wendy summarize.
This is a policy that allows for employees to provide suggestions to the board, and then for the board to determine if action should be taken on those suggestions.
All right, do we have a motion on this policy?
I move that we approve policy 1550, employee suggestions to the board, as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Van Wagenen. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Boyce. Any discussion? All right, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. All right, our next item on the agenda is policy 1410, notice of meeting. And this is the one that in study session we were discussing whether the language on budget hearings was sufficient. I know Wendy was going to be looking at that. What update do you have
We
for us,
need to shove that back to policy committee so that it's clear what the language is. So I talked with Devin. We'll just send it back to policy committee.
Okay, great. So do we have a motion to table this item?
I move that we table policy 1410.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Hall. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. Any discussion? All right, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Next is policy 1415, recording of minutes.
This just gives guidelines about what has to be recorded in terms of meetings, and then we adopted also a procedure for how those minutes get adopted and if there are any changes that need to be made, what the process is for that.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I move that we approve policy 1415, recording of minutes, as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, thank you, Board Member Van Wagenen. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Harrison. Any discussion? All right, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Next is our Centennial Middle School's Land Trust Plan Amendment.
So Dr. Edwards came in to explain what they needed to change based on the data that they had and the desire of their school community council to make those adjustments to their focus for this coming year.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the amendment to the school land trust plan for Centennial Middle School as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Hall. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Van Wagenen. Any discussion? All right, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. And our last item of business items is the 2026-27 open enrollment status.
So district leadership is recommending that we leave all schools open for the open enrollment period. Applications will begin November 15th with them officially counting starting December 1st and be open till the first Friday in February. And that all schools would be open and parents could apply to attend any school within our district.
All right, do we have a motion?
I move that we approve the open enrollment status of Provo City School District schools for the 2026-27 school year as discussed in open meetings tonight.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Harrison. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Boyce. Any discussion? I just want to say appreciate us taking the time to make sure we got those numbers right and to look into that thoroughly before we approved. So, all right, all in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Next is the consent calendar, which we had the opportunity in our last meeting to ask questions about. Do we have a motion to approve the items on the consent calendar?
I move that we approve the items on the consent calendar.
Okay, motion made by Board Member Boyce. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Board Member Harrison. Any discussion? All in favor with aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Next it's the time for various reports, and we are not going to do F1 tonight because our business administrator is not able to be here. So we will move on to our student board members and we'll invite Rachel and Bailey to come up and share their report with us.
I'm Bailey Lindstrom. I'm the student board member from Provo High. In our last SAC meeting, we talked about student surveys for lunch schedules and school swag. We have students who are part of the communications, and so they're working on that. And then they're also working on QR codes to send to student emails just for any feedback they have. They're also hoping to collab with student government and make the SAC council make sure people are more aware of it, and then hoping to make maybe some Instagram videos just to bring awareness to us. So yeah.
I'm Rachel Rue. I'm the student board member for Timpview High School, and during our student advisory council meeting, we talked about bringing in possibly guest lower classmen into the student advisory council meetings. So if it's held at Timpview High School, we'll bring in Timpview students and the same for Provo High School as well, to not only bring more awareness, but to also get some feedback from the lower grades as well. For those surveys that we'll be sending out to students to encourage them to fill them out, we're thinking about creating prizes for answering surveys. And finally, we reviewed our Admit Utah, how it was a success, but we did have some technical difficulties, and we did go over the University of Utah being unable to apply for the Honors College. Any questions for us?
Oh, just thank you. Great.
Yes. And are you guys, I can't remember, are you guys planning to present a class in January at our conference?
Yes,
about
we
student
both
board
are.
members?
Mhm.
Okay. Have you started on that? Like, I was just going to say, how's it going? But maybe you haven't started on it yet.
Not quite yet, but probably like this and next month we'll start working on that.
Okay. Yeah. Let us know how we can be of help with that. So that's one that a lot of the board members throughout the state get very excited about. So it'll be well attended, I think.
Yeah.
So. No pressure. No pressure. But we're here to help you and support you. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, now is time for our board member roundtable, where board members can just share updates on the committee assignments that they have, anything they've been working on. So, Melanie, do you have anything you want to share?
I'm sure there is something, but my brain has been fried from last week from work.
That's true.
So I'm going to wave.
And normally I just let you, and I started to go in order tonight, so I'm sorry. So we'll go down the order. If you think of anything later, let us know. So, Emily?
Perfect. The only committee meeting I've been to lately is the Parent Advisory Committee, and we had that the other night. It was great. We had good discussions about needs, and I just have to say, Superintendent Dow, you do a really good job of acknowledging people's points of view.
Thank you.
It was really good.
That's awesome. Okay, last week I attend our district safety committee meetings. Nothing specific to report on it. Although I will just say I do appreciate there's like high level thinking in that meeting and then like really low like details of like locks and keys on doors. All that to say, it's very encompassing of all the different facets within the district where safety and health are of concern. And I appreciate all the different departments and people weighing in the different ways that we are making sure we're keeping our buildings safe, our students safe, employees, and then also working with, new legislation, especially when it comes down to the, House Bill 4084, right, our safety and school guardian bills and kind of the coordination with law enforcement and all those pieces. And I appreciate the opportunity to kind of see all of that in action. So I'm reporting that to all of you that is happening. Terry's there as well. And then, Jennifer, you mentioned this last time, but I'll just put another plug in. I also am on the PTA council committee. It's not a committee, but I attend our PTA, Provo PTA council meetings, and really love going to those and just seeing the efforts in each of our schools with different parents, with PTAs, parent groups, and what they're doing to support our schools. And this is the centennial celebration of Utah PTA. So this year, which is exciting, and it's a great way to especially show our legislators the involvement of parents in our schools and being able to organize more collectively to kind of show those numbers at a state level of the efforts happening in our schools, especially when, there's different things to advocate for and to work collaboratively with legislators. So,
Terry, do you have any updates?
Just the November interim legislative session starts next week. And this is kind of a safety committee, and Amelia, the new gate entrance is ready, and everyone read your email from the principal to know how to get through that. And then Provo High's in the state semifinals on Thursday, 6 p.m., Bicycle Stadium. I will be wearing green.
Congratulations.
So exciting. Go Bulldogs.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lisa.
I used to know the Bulldog fight song growing up because my dad graduated from Provo High, so we were required to sing it at our house. Mostly just policy committee work that we've all been doing. I really want to shout out to Superintendent Dow and district leadership. I know they do the bulk of that work for policy committee, and just getting all of the policy drafts that come to us and recognizing that there has to be so much work getting those to us. Just how grateful I feel that you're all doing that work, and really appreciate that. I think that's the main thing. I also attended the Parent Advisory Committee, and it really reminded me of how important it is to have those voices in the conversations. The questions and the framework for how that meeting is run are just excellent. I just felt like it was so well done, and you kept people moving through all of the information, but also there were great ideas and important conversations happening. And I think we are a better district with those voices. So thank you to that for sure.
Wonderful. My updates for Utah School Board Association, just want to remind you to do your master board certification if you have not yet. The deadline is the end of this month. And no pressure, but we've had 100% participation from Provo for as long as I've been on the board, I think, and we're not going to lose that. So,
Not to your watch.
No pressure.
To your watch.
That's right. No. Well, and it is just about helping us in our roles, board members, and a lot of it we're doing anyway. So you just mark it off, and some of it there's some videos that are helpful training. And if you need any help with knowing how to complete that or things like that, just let me know. But we're going to get that done. And then also I want to report from the Positive School Culture Committee. Carrie Rollins reported about the PBIS efforts, which we talk about in our committee. And then the other aspect of that is, you guys are all aware, we have our kindness clubs in our schools and our students working to lead out on that culture within their schools. And so this year, we did not do a retreat at the beginning of the year. We're letting the schools get their clubs established and get started working. And then we are in the middle right now of planning. We're going to have retreats at the end of January. And this year we're doing it a little differently. So in the past, we've done an elementary retreat and a secondary. And this year we're going to have still 2 retreats, but they're going to be by feeder pattern. And so one will be the Provo High pattern and one will be the Timpview pattern. And the secondary students, so both the middle and the high schools, are going to help lead out on some of the classes and the training that we're doing for the elementary students. So we're planning that right now. I'm going to give some guidance to those secondary clubs, and then we'll have those the last 2 Wednesdays of January. And we want to thank Shauna Sprunger from our communications team for our Kindness, the Real Magic t-shirts. And they just arrived this last week. So all board members, you all got one. And they're going to be distributed to our Kindness Club students and advisors. And going to continue to work on efforts to promote kindness, including the retreat will be a kickoff for, we're going to have all of the schools do paper chains of kindness, start a chain reaction in all of our schools, which I'm really excited about. Last time we did that it made a really big impact on the culture in our schools. So, all right, now we will turn it over to Superintendent Dow for her report.
I just wanted to note that we have some travel that has been approved. All of this is within the 425 miles, so it doesn't require board approval. I really appreciate the coaches and the advisors that deal with a lot of the questions that we ask them about, have you allotted enough money for food? And explain to me how many students are in a room. And they're very, very patient with all of us as we go through that and just make sure our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed. And they do a great job. And I know it's a lot that we ask of them, so I appreciate their work there. I just wanted to highlight a few things that maybe people aren't aware of, but Provo City School District has these amazing bright spots. And I really would say it's starting to generate a whole culture of excellence and achievement that's starting to occur, and I think has always been there, but just hasn't been highlighted. In case you weren't aware, Edgemont Elementary and Timpview High School were both mentioned by U.S. News and World Report and have scored as being some of the top educational institutions in the state. And that really does take not only leadership, but every single teacher that's a part of that, as well as the stakeholders, the parents, and the students that put forth a ton of effort there. I'm super excited about Provo High going to the state semifinals. I'm just really excited to see the energy that's there, and it does. You want to think that football doesn't change a school's culture, but it does, doesn't it, Bailey? Like kind of sports do. Like they're a big deal, and you can all kind of rally behind it. We have the lieutenant governor at Westridge Elementary just watching our first and third grade classes, and just the literacy instruction that was taking place, and then the data that the principal shared was pretty phenomenal. And then the governor's office with the state superintendent recognized districts and schools where there were their third grade teams had met the state's goal of 70% of third graders reading on grade level. This isn't just third graders that are making typical progress. They're actually reaching that grade level benchmark. And we had Lakeview I hope I don't forget one, so I'm hoping everyone's going to help me with this. But we had Lakeview Elementary, Rock Canyon Elementary, Edgemont Elementary, Canyon Crest Elementary, and we had a teacher from Provo Peaks that was acknowledged. And I feel like I'm forgetting one of the schools, and I'll think of it in just a moment. But all of them were recognized in like this banquet. And if I had known what a big deal it was, I don't think it was advertised in the way that it should have been advertised. And that's something that we're going to make as a big celebration, and make sure that I was talking to the Edgemont teachers, like, we need to go to dinner before and make this a big deal. But there's a lot of work that goes into that. And then just something that maybe people don't realize, and that is we have an individual who is an administrator, Robert Bunker. He works very closely with the state hospital, and I received an email from one of the superintendents over the state hospital just really commending the work that Robert does to support our students, not only with their needs that they have, but just collaborating and really focusing on the individual and how we can work as a team. And sometimes that gets really hard because you have a lot of entities that are working together. And so I was really appreciative for this individual to reach out, but I also am very appreciative of all of the effort that our administrators put forth, and especially Robert, where I think he's not at the forefront like in a traditional school. And then finally, just the Veterans Assembly today at Timpview High School was just so well done, and just such great stories shared. And I loved listening to the Timpview choir at the very end. They were singing, I was telling Bonnie about this, and I kind of got emotional about it, but they were singing Battle Hymn of the Republic, and they were singing a version that I remember going to the Tabernacle in Salt Lake, and my dad was in the Tabernacle choir, and they had the United States Air Force Band, and they performed the exact same, rendition of it, and I knew every word to that dang song because of, it was one of my favorites, and just remembering my dad performing that, and just how amazing that was. And so it just brought back all of those memories as well, and just really grateful for all of the people that I think are contributing in so many different ways to make our country a really, it is such an amazing place to live, and I look forward to us continuing to get better and better as a nation. So.
Thank you so much. All right, with that, we are at the end of our agenda. I want to remind everyone we do not have another board meeting this month. Our next board meeting will be December 9th. And do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
A motion made by Board Member Hall. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Board Member Boyce. We are adjourned. Everyone have a wonderful night.
You can see everybody.